Hey everybody, welcome back to another Reality Skewed Gamers lunch stream. I'm Ranger J 1999 and welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's having a great day. Thank God it's Friday. It's Friday the 13th. Ooh. Hope everyone's doing good. Welcome to the lunch stream. What is the lunch stream? Well, that is where we hang out with you good folks for the next hour and basically do some Ross reviews, have fun, let chaos ensue, and have you something to listen to during the doldrums of your workday. Especially if you're a Star Wars Galaxy hero fan. Welcome one and all to the show. Let's introduce everybody. We have Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman.
Good afternoon.
And we also have the big deal himself, Grande Patron. We have the soulless one, Sanely Red.
Just a friendly reminder, make sure to run if you hear today on Friday the 13th.
Wait, what?
That's the soundtrack, in the soundtrack of, the Friday the 13th movies. You're whenever he's about to kill somebody.
Yes, I see what you did there. Okay. We also have joining us the one and only, the indomitable one, Mike Hunt.
Is that a guy with a hockey mask just behind you, Ranger?
No, that's Revan.
Good afternoon.
How you doing? And also joining us, the one and only Stoner Jedi himself, Silo.
What's up, guys?
I mean, do you have any strange men with hockey masks behind you, Silo?
Nope.
All right,
good.
So this should be a great. This should be a great. Should be a great lunch stream. Welcome one and all. If you guys have questions,
Which skin are you using on the stream, Ranger?
It looks like it's the Wednesday night one.
Oh, it's doing that crap again.
God.
Oh, it's doing that bug, man.
One of these days, we just need to turn the stream on like 15 minutes early so everybody gets to hear what happens behind the scenes before we start.
All right, let me.
Did you plug in your second monitor?
I had to unplug because I was getting bad feed again. So,
Yeah, I think it's because the second monitor is screwing up your display capture, so it's screwing that up. So once you add your monitor again, we'll have to reset all the different scenes.
Yeah, give me a second here. Hold on, everybody.
And so, just so you all heard just now, Ranger did the spoiler. Revan is Michael Myers. That's what we just learned.
Ranger is Mike Myers?
No, Revan. Revan is Mike Myers.
Revan is Mike
True
Myers.
identity of Revan.
Revan is Jason. You're getting the horror movies confused.
Yeah, baby. Revan is Austin Powers.
Michael Myers is from Halloween.
Oh, behave.
Oh my God.
Yeah, baby.
This is like 8 levels of fail now.
Shagadelic, baby.
Can I ask you something? Do I make you horny? Do I?
It's your Jack weird. The whole thing is awful.
I think I married an ex-murderer.
I'm gonna have to stop the stream to make this work. It's not doing it, Finn.
That's fine. We can just go with this. As long as you can do stuff with the skin, that's fine.
I can't do anything with the skin. That's the problem.
No. Leave the skin. As long as you can do stuff with the GG, we're fine.
I can't. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, if it has the old skin, that's fine. We'll deal with it.
I guess. But it's not showing the. Why is it doing that?
Do you not have an RSG test card?
This is what happens when Finn makes. We get new stuff and.
Yeah, I know. We need to set everything up for the second monitor again.
Well, the second monitor is pulling video and it's causing the stream to lag
Yeah, I
and
know.
stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Hashtag it's Finn's fault.
Yeah, it is Finn's fault.
Probably.
What a great idea. Let's get a second monitor. Let's do the... Makes the damn stream suck.
God. Okay, let's talk more about Mike Myers. Shall we?
This is really bad. This is driving me nuts.
We're scaring away Grande. We scared away Grande. See what you did, Stanley?
Is it because we
What
stopped
did I
talking
do?
about ham?
It's all your fault. David, I need someone to blame besides me.
Oh, okay. I'm the lowest on the total pole, so I guess I get the blame.
Yeah.
No, that's Finn. Finn gets all the blame.
No! No. Let's start a new thing. Let's blame Sanely for everything.
No, we're gonna blame you, Finn, because this is all your goddamn fault.
Damn it.
I'm trying to scapegoat
I
somebody.
blame Grande. Grande, defend yourself. Oh, no, he's not here. Okay,
Yeah.
it's Grande's fault.
Well, I can't, I mean, Grande is his own tornado, so I'm not gonna try to defend that crap. How do I... Why is this doing this? This is what's driving me absolutely bonkers, because, like, I'm pretty sure that I don't have all this stuff set up for...
This is showing up on your KO player skin?
Yeah.
Huh, that's weird.
It is really weird, dude, and I don't know why it's doing it.
Yeah. Huh. We'll just continue.
I wonder if I add another...
Danilo Papayas, how are the I Blame Finn shirts getting along?
Oh, that's very nice. That's very true.
Well, we do have the Grande I'm kind of a big deal shirt, so yeah, I guess that's next. I blame Finn.
Well, there you go, folks. Blame Finn Day has started, so that being said...
Friday the 13th is now officially Blame Finn Day?
Yeah, because I started getting that bad. I was looking at that as soon as I started the stream. I started getting the video buffering and stuff, so I was like, okay, I'll just unplug the second monitor again, and then that's when all the crap started. Same thing happened with Battlefront, so it's something for us to work on. All right. Welcome to the show, guys. We'll just go right to the roster reviews.
It's like a second Wednesday.
Yeah. Christ. All right, we're gonna do some roster reviews. Before then, just a couple mechanisms. Make sure you guys subscribe and like if you like what you see. We really appreciate all the support. We have the Patreon, of course, that we started. If you'd like to donate to the Patreon and support us, all that will be used directly back into the game itself, where we'll be getting characters like Basilisk, things of that nature. So if you are interested in that, please, by all means, support us on our Patreon page. It should be linked below now, shouldn't it, Dr. Finn?
Yeah, I hope.
Oh, God.
we just got the monitor, so we have to set everything up. But
right.
It should be fine.
I'm talking about the Patreon. What the hell are you talking about the monitor for?
Well, the stuff that they get for the Patreon is giving us stuff like this. So
yeah, I'd like to know who you did get me the it doesn't tell me. I'd like to thank the person that got us the monitor.
I thought they told you.
No, it wasn't in any of the Amazon stuff.
No, the person messaged you because you told me.
No. Oh, was that the same person that got me the cables for it?
No, the cables is the No, somebody different. We'll talk about it afterwards because I don't know if he wants everyone to know his name. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then
but you're the one that told me who bought you the monitor.
No, I didn't. I didn't
Yes,
know
you
it was. No, the cables I got from that other person.
How soon we forget, Ranger? How soon?
Was it Mike Myers, baby?
I don't know. Jesus.
All right, we need to get to the roster review now. We're totally off track here.
I can totally discombobulated. So we are doing Star Wars Galaxy Heroes Kavoth profile.
Is this said in some special way, Sanely?
What's up?
Do you say this name in any particular way? It looks like it's Norwegian, Scandinavian type name, if I was to guess.
Just a sec. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
Well,
so we're
gonna
go
with
guess
Kavoth.
We're gonna go with Kavoth.
Kavoth.
God. Okay.
He's in the house. All right.
Salakatori.
Salakatori.
Is it Quoth?
Salakatori.
Salakatori. They're actually a relatively. They were. I'm gonna get this wrong. They were part of a group.
Okay,
I don't want to say which.
It's pronounced Quoth.
Quoth.
Quoth. Quoth.
Okay. Oh, it's
like
pronounced
quote with
quoth.
the th.
As in close, but with a lisp.
Okay.
O-T-H-E.
There we go. Quoth. Okay. There we go. It's quoth.
Okay.
We learn something new every day that we're probably going to forget by the end of the stream.
Well, absolutely.
So, okay. So we're looking at Quoth's roster. And he wanted us to look basically at his mods. He thinks his mods are the main thing that's holding him back. So he wants
an arena.
Yeah. So I guess he wants any assistance. So he's basically looking for a mod review. And we can look at the rest of his roster a little bit too, but mods are...
Let me focus on the mods. So go ahead. I'll look at his characters. You guys want to look at his mods, so go ahead.
59 mods from the speed set with speed secondary. Yes.
And he has a plus 17 speed secondary sitting on Kira. Yeah, that no. He has a 15 sitting on Zeb. No. So your mods need to be focused more. Definitely need to be focused more. If you want to run the Jedi Training Raid team and you're having no issues with your arena, I'm fine with you continuing with that. You don't have to necessarily go to the Sith meta, but yeah, your mods are definitely all over the place. Especially since when I go to look at your first page of speed secondary mods, in the first 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. In the first 8 rows of mods, so the first 24 mods that you have for speed secondaries, BB-8's only in one of them.
That's not going to work on with the team
Nope.
that has BB-8.
Yeah. If you're using BB-8, BB-8 has to be fast.
Like, super duper awesome sauce
Booper
fast.
scooper. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he says, my mods are a mess. Yes, they are definitely a mess. If you haven't watched it, and we can go through a little bit of detail here. If you haven't watched it, I have a video on how you optimize your speed mods. And essentially what you're doing is you're going to compare what speed you get from your speed set versus what speeds you get without your speed set. And then is it worth it or is it not worth it to use a speed set? If you don't have a lot of speed set mod secondaries with speed, right, sometimes you're actually going to get a faster speed by using all non-speeds. You do have 9 double-digit ones, so it's not a bad one. So you're close. You still want to definitely get more. 9 is not bad. That provides you about 2 full sets more than likely. When I've been kind of just quickly glancing over your secondary speed mods, you should probably be able to run 2 speed sets, which will probably go on R2 and BB-8. But you definitely, like Mike was saying, you need to farm more speed set mods. You desperately, you need more speed set mods. What else are you noticing, Mike?
That was the first thing that jumped out. I'm liking the fact that I scroll to the bottom of page 1 and the slowest secondary speed on all mods is 11. That's good. So that page 1 is all double digit. Like you're saying, maybe some redistribution. It's the same old, isn't it? It's kind of target your main squads and go from there. Are you using Kira?
He's not using Kira or Empress Nest. He's got a 7-star Gear 12 Empress Nest.
Right. Well,
I mean, I'm okay if he doesn't use it.
He's doing fine in arena. That's up to him. But
yeah. I mean, Memphis.
But she shouldn't be modded with anything good if you're not using her.
Yeah, it's the switching over of what you're using your Cantina energy for. Maybe have 3-day mod farming and 4-day for the tune sort of thing, just to increase. And of course, as we keep saying, don't bin any greens, blues, and purples at the moment, because we've got this slicing malarkey on the way that we have not much idea of how it's actually going to work yet. But if you're doing that, also save credits, because it's going to be very expensive. You can guarantee that.
We have Mike, so that's good. What I'm noticing is that he seems to be a spender for sure. 7-star Bandor Chewie, 7-star Kira, 7-star Enfys Nest, right? So, and correct me if I'm wrong, quote, that looks like you're a spender. 2.2 million GP is one thing, but you're spending. My forte is definitely not with if you're spending money, right? Mine's more how you manage it with a free-to-play roster. So maybe you can give some advice just on building the roster, Mike, because it looks like he focused a lot on the new scoundrels, right? I see it all Gear 12 scoundrels, but they're not necessarily the best team right now. Like his Rex is gear 10.
I'm looking at his roster, right? So there's a lot of really good tunes here. I mean, by team, it looks like he's got like some of the characters done, and then some of the characters that need work in some of the teams. So I mean, a little bit more focus on one team at a time and try to get them going. So, like, I was looking at Night Sister, I was looking at First Order. I mean, Sith looked pretty solid. Vader's gear 12, Emperor 11, Nihilus 11, Sign 11. He's 6 stars, so that's really good. First Order Executioner needs to be done if you're going to go with a First Order team. The other First Order are fine. They just need some gear. Night Sister's the same. I think you got to finish on get 7-star your Mother Talzin and getting her gear. The rest of the Night Sisters look fine. You know, it's stuff like that I'm looking at that, you know, just it's little pieces here and there and things that just need to be tweaked or added to make any of his roster either send out more, like Troopers. You know, Death Troopers 11, but sure, you know, General Bruce is only 10, Stark is 8, you know, that kind of stuff. So kind of pick a team and focus a little bit. I think that'll help you out too.
He says he spent sporadically, and the Scoundrels was an anomaly. But damn, that is one expensive anomaly.
It's a nice one. They're a fun squad. They're just I'm looking. I just scrolled through and saw that his young Lando and his L3 are both 3-star, and unfortunately, you kind of need them too with Kira, young Han, and Vandor Chewie. Nest is just a beautiful tune for anywhere other than being in that squad. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Your ham is beaching, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Swear his mother has returned. I may be on mute for a while, depending on her journey home. It can be a sweary convo.
It's nice that she comes with a warning signal for you, though.
Yes, there is that. So I will be quiet for a few moments now.
Okay. Yeah, strangely enough, of the Scoundrels that you got, right, Enfys Nest is fine. I would have actually went because I love the new Millennium Falcon ship. I think it's going to work really well under Phantom. Sure. I would think Lando and L3 are better to invest in, but I wouldn't have invested in any. So just be careful in general if you're spending money on the newer tunes. You have 30 days in order to buy them, right? And by the time, if you're not like a person that's trying to keep a maxed out roster, just for whatever reason, your goal is to just keep out that maxed roster. And that's usually like the 4 million plus rosters. I think now it's like 4.2 or something after these new characters. Just be wary of spending on the newer characters because you don't know how they're going to pan out. I don't know what use you've gotten out of them, Quo. My guess is that maybe they've been somewhat decent in territory wars for you. I don't know if you're placing them on defense or not. Yeah, you said you're using them in territory war and territory battle. Looking back, do you think it was worth the investment? Because I don't know too many people outside of the ones that just spend anyways that think that the Scoundrels were really worth it except for Enfys. And so in general, even if you're like a sporadic spender or you're a mild spender, unless you, for whatever reason, really love the characters, always wait towards the end of the time period to buy the characters so you have more information about whether or not they're good, whether or not they're worth the investment. Because all the investment that you did to get those characters up, you could have leveled up a lot of squads that would have helped you, I think, overall. Let me see. What's the GP on House Salvatore? They're 135. So I imagine that you guys are doing Heroic Sith Raid. You, especially right now, and even though we don't like the system, we discussed this when it first came out, but getting higher scores in the Heroic Sith Raid is what gets you better gear, 12 plus gear. And that's pretty much the only way that you can get it. Looking at your roster, you have some of the Night Sisters. I would still work on getting your Talia up. Right, and your Mother Talzin is still 6-star, so you want to get your Talia up to gear 12 if you can, especially if you're spending money. Right, for free to play, you can leave her at gear 11. That's fine. If you're spending money and stuff, getting more gear on Talia to increase her damage is really good because she heals with her basic. Right, so the more damage she does, the more healing you get, which means more chance that they're going to end up at full turn meter, which means that next time they get hit with Treya's Bonds of Weakness, they're going to go below, and then all this kind of fun stuff. So Talia, worth it. Then also with Talzin, you want to get her to 7-star as soon as possible. Not getting of all the characters, right? Even if you include the scoundrels, Talia gets you Zetas every month. If there's one, maybe even 2 events which get you Zetas from having a 7-star Talzin. So focus on getting her to 7 stars as soon as possible. Your Wicket is 4-star. If you want to advance your roster, get your Wicket to 7-star, because that will get you the Zetas from that event. Now, your Ewoks are also relatively low, and you have to beat that normal tier in order to get the Wicket unlocked for the bonus tier once you have a 7-star Wicket. So focus on your Ewoks. You don't have to focus on them a lot. Gear 9, get them 7 stars so you can use them around a little bit. But and I see you have a bunch of them that are at 4-star. So work on your Ewoks, get your Wicket to 7-star, so then you can try getting those Zetas. So in terms of, this is just kind of in general, right? And be careful about where you're spending your money in the game. You don't want to, they distract you a lot. And we said this for free to play also. They do a lot of these like flavor of the month type things, whether it's characters that are related to the new movie. There's these new abilities that keep popping up, right? They have a way, this is all game developers, all people that look at the numbers and the stats of the game, right? They're trying to find a way to balance out the game. If they see a bunch of people that are getting excessive amounts of, let's say, ship currency, because that's what happened the most recent, I'm sure they saw that people at the high end had nothing to spend fleet credits on. And so if they introduce a new character or a new ship, right, you need fleet credits in order to level those up. But if everybody has all of these credits already, they're not going to be able to make any money off of getting people to buy ship credits. So what do? You give away for players to spend their ship tokens or their ship credits. And all of a sudden you saw that you could buy mods for ship credits, and people were spending it because it's a worthwhile investment, but there's a huge RNG risk to mods, because you can buy a mod and it can still turn out to be crap, and now you basically lost your fleet currency. And so they find a way to balance it out. The new characters are really no different. They introduce all of these new characters. We don't know until there's some gameplay whether or not they're going to stick. You spend your crystals on them in order to get it, but maybe kind of like what you said, right? You spent it, and then Lando and L3 came out pretty much came out right after. Right, so once they came out after, it's like, oh, well, maybe it's worth it for the ship, but you spent it too early. Take advantage of that 30-day period for the new characters. I think you can improve if you, and I don't know what consistent spending you're doing. I know you said this is sporadic, but just in general for anyone, if you're spending it, make sure that you're spending it with a purpose to improve your roster and not gambling on the new characters, especially if you're still having characters that you need to build, different squads, all that kind of stuff. And you could have spent that on more mods too, just so you know. You were saying mods, so I think mods would have helped you as well.
All right. Anything else? Anybody?
No, I think overall his roster is good.
Pretty solid. Yeah, it's tweaking here and there, doing this, doing that. So,
and he's building it. He's a 2.2 million. I mean, some of that is because
got the
of the
main
scoundrel,
pieces you
which is
need.
fine,
Just got to build up the other teams, and you'll be fine, man. You're looking solid. You're doing the right thing with mod farming, and got a really good roster. You know, for your level, with your GP, pretty damn solid. So, and if you have any more questions, you know where to. You can come into our Discord. You know where to find us, so we can help you out. All right, next roster review we are doing is Darth Revan's, and they are in Empire Vanguard. Now, what's the difference between Darth Revan and Darth Revan, Finn?
One is German.
Right.
That's
that
it. I think so. I think one is German and the other one is not.
All right, we're moving on.
So he's part of Empire Vanguard.
Right.
And
let's see here.
He is looking for a review of his mods, an idea as to what to farm next, and also where to put his next Zetas.
Okay. Let's look at this.
Also, while we're getting that up, I see a message from It Poop Bombs. So yeah, so It Poops Bombs, how are your Tuscans and Rex? We want an update to see whether or not Ouchie's kicking you out of her guild. So
yeah.
Give us an update. You brought it up. So, looking at his
roster
mods,
looks really solid.
Mhm.
Just a first glance. Let's go by
Mod wise, I'm seeing fairly good consolidation at the top. What I'm thinking, and I don't know if he's in the chat or not. If you're in the chat, Revin, let us know. I think he said he was going to try and show up. But so in looking at his mods, right, like the first few rows are pretty much on his arena team, which is his Sith team. Then I see it kind of spreading out. I see some that's on Veers, Rex. I see on Jedi Training Ray team. So I'm thinking he has enough mods on his arena team that he's starting to keep some for his Sith raid team. That's the way it kind of appears right now. He can correct me if I'm wrong, or he can ask questions later. But just from the looks of it, it looks like he has arena under control, so he's moving his mods around. So while they're not necessarily consolidated on his arena team, he's not having any issues with the arena team. It looks like he's on a rotation for his arena. So I mean, I'm okay with the way that his mods are. He has a few of them that maybe I would look to moving around. Like, for example, he has, and so you can kind of figure out how you want to do this, but you have a plus 16 on Stark. Now, I know Stark needs to be fast for your Imperial Trooper team, but I would probably move that to a one of your Jedi Training Raid team or your Arena team, because it is a 16 speed potency cross, which is a very valuable cross. Potency primary on a cross, very, very nice. 16 speed makes it even better. So I think you could probably find a better use for it than Stark potentially. So just something to consider. Again, these are all kind of minor things with how your mods are. I think overall your mods are fine with your speed secondaries. In terms of your speed secondaries, your page 1 ends with a +9, so you're almost double digit one page of speed secondaries on speed mods. So yeah, I mean your mods you're fine. I don't see any major issues with mods. Maybe little tweaks here and there just based on what your focus is. But yeah, no issues with mods.
Yeah, and his roster looks really, really solid. I think another thing that needs maybe a little bit of work is First Order. That could be where you can go. Kylo Ren's only 6-star unmasked at 6-star and not quite there yet. Execution needs some work. That's a team you could focus in on, or you could focus on one of the other teams, getting them all to gear 12. Your Night Sisters look pretty solid. You know, overall your roster looks really, really solid. I think it's just focusing on one team and just rocking and roll with it. I mean, it's just what you want to do at this point, you know. But you know, kind of have probably, it looks like you already have a plan that you're executing. So as far as I'm concerned, you're on the right path. There's really not much more you need to be doing other than what you're doing already. So mods, character
For Stoner, I'll tell Stoner Jedi. He has a 7-star gear 10 Hermit Yoda and a 6-star gear 8 Wampa. What do you think about that, Stoner?
Hey, he's right around the corner from farming a lot of gear out of the Guild event store then. I mean, ever since, like the last couple of weeks, ever since that's been lifted off my shoulders, man, it's like farming gear is amazing. Like stun guns, carbs, a bunch of little things to keep gearing up, smaller tunes to gear 8 and gear 9, and, start rounding up my roster a little more, so I'm sure he's going to enjoy that.
But yeah, now we wanted to look at Zetas.
Yeah, where to put Zetas next?
Let's look at Zetas. GG's not working for me again. No, now it wants to work.
Sure, I'm bringing it up right now. Bringing up Zetas. Bringing up Zetas. All right, where is he? Where are you, Darth Revan? Is he Lord Revan? Is that what his name is in game? Hold on. Checking out. His name is it's
Revan.
Lord Revan. Darth Revan is his username on GG, but his in-game is Lord Revan. Okay,
Lord
so
Revan.
he has 19 Zetas. So he has a double Zeta Asajj, Zeta on Barriss, Roll with the Punches on BB-8, It Binds All Things on Luke, Nihilus unique, Scion unique, Traya unique, Vader leader, Emperor Palpatine lead, Finn lead, Veers, Ebb and Flow on Thrawn, Han shoot first, Plague Bearer on Talzin, Daka unique, Double Zeta R2, and leader on Jedi Training Rey. I have no issues with where he's put his Zeta so far.
No.
Next Zetas are really just based on.
When you go first order, you can do all those.
Mm-hmm. You could potentially do a Zeta on Vader's unique. You're at that point where, while it's not like a game-changing Zeta, it is one that just may help your team out a little bit. So you could put one on Vader's unique. You're at that position anyways. You are lacking some mod or some Zeta leaders that may help you. For example, Maul. I really love Maul lead. So Maul lead is one potential. First order, if you want. I know you don't like Maul lead. I still love it, especially since now you can field 2 Sith teams. The being able to field 2 Sith teams is really nice. So yeah, so you could do. You don't have to. Obviously, these are like all secondary. You have a lot of the main ones in order to push your squad through. First order, you would end up needing 3 Zetas in total. You would want to start out with the Kylo Ren lead, then Kylo Ren unique, and then first order Stormtrooper. Those would be the 3 Zetas, so you can work on first order. Your Night Sisters are pretty much done. I like Mother Talzin Zeta lead, but again, not necessary. You can run Ventress lead and get pretty much similar results. So no issue with that. You could add more Zetas to Jedi Training Rey if you wanted, like Insight. I mean, I don't know. The other thing you can also do is just wait a little while. You could do a Zeta on Hermit Yoda on his Let the Strength Flow, so you can get the protection. You could do one on your Wampa once he's ready to be used. So that's another one potentially you have. You have a bunch of good sources. Any other ones that strike out to you, Grim, Xylo, Sanely?
One that stood out for me, and again, it's not a must, but Treya's lead for Territory Wars, so potentially he could, split Palpatine and Treya teams and have, 2 separate Sith Empire and a full Sith team too as well. And then, like you said, I really like the other 2 that stood out to me the most of his roster. Once he gets Hermit Yoda and Wampa a little more geared, like you said, the strength flows through the Force on Hermit Yoda is really good. The Master's training is a plus, but it just depends on where you're at with the Zetas. And then I also saw his Wampa; he doesn't even have a Cornered Beast up to level 7. So you want to potentially put those purple mats down on Wampa to make him more valuable right away. And then at gear 10 is when I put the Zeta on Cornered Beast, and I noticed a big difference then. So you could potentially look to do Wampa as a standalone character. He does benefit you a lot in the game too as well, and obviously you're close to getting him to 7 stars, so you can use him for raids, you can use him for TW, territory battles. He's a really good character to plug in on dark side territory battles if you're struggling on that too. And that's really all I noticed. Everything else I said, or you said before, Finn, I totally agree with.
All right, Grim and Sanely, anything else that you can see?
He should work on his first order. He doesn't have Kylo Ren unmasked 7-star yet, and he's still got a 3-star first order executioner and a 3-star first order special forces type fighter pilot. That one's not as important, but you should definitely farm the other 2 and gear up the rest.
All right. I think that covers it all. All right. So let's get to some questions, shall we?
We have lots of times for questions today, so get those questions in. Sanely is grabbing them.
I'm still trying to figure out why the hell I can't get my goddamn... I give up. I can't show... This is stupid. Can't even show my gameplay. Alright, let's just get to questions.
Okay, Doha-san, question, territory war placement is today. Did anyone from RSG wail on Bastilla for this war?
Not yet. I'll wait for the Patreon, which if you'd like to support us, you can. I will work on Bastilla. I think she's going to be a really good character in a lot of different areas. But no, not yet.
Same. I'm working on my gear for her. I'm not going to wail out on her.
I've got a gear 885, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's little.
I can't. Yeah. Huh? I don't have enough credits to get her to your gear. I have her at gear 53 right now. I don't have enough credits, so I'm waiting for credits to get her up.
Yeah, I do. My general look is to sit on some credits for like when they stagger in these new character releases, especially with the raids. But I got the 2 new Jedis up to 85 and try to get him up to gear 8. Jolie, he's a little more heavy on the gear up to gear 8, but it's just they're missing something right now in a sense. But when they release the rest of the KOTOR characters, maybe there will be some more synergy with just those 2 or the big benefit to the Jedi as well, and maybe some more Jedi coming in the future.
All right.
Okay, we got a question from Fagtrix, but I think going forward, I'm just going to call you He Who Must Not Be Named.
Okay.
Question, around the corn, how many times have you quit Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and why? I have never quit.
I've never quit.
Once.
Same.
Yeah, Finn quit once.
Mm-hmm. I
quit too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what Grande's reason was, so I'll let him explain. For me, I honestly got sick of the game. It got to the point what were the changes? I can't remember now because it was a while ago, but there were some changes in game that really just kind of pissed me off. And I didn't like the direction of the game, so I quit the game. And the reason I came back was, unfortunately, as a result, a lot of the people in my guild started to leave, and the RSG guild was starting to fall apart. So I came back and started recruiting after we lost people in order to kind of right the ship, because if nothing else, this game has meant more to me for the community than the game itself. And so I didn't want to see the people that I'd played with for about a year and a half at that point, like losing the guild that we'd all been a part of. Most of us had been there since guilds started. So if you guys don't know, like, the game didn't initially have guilds. Guild started much later, and most of the people that were in there at the time were with us at the start, including Ranger. Ranger was still in the guild at the time that I left. So yeah, and then when I left, I know people started to leave and people started to look for other guilds, and so we lost some people, and then I came back. So that's why I came back. Now I stay for my guild. I'm not allowed to leave. Yeah, they'll yell at me if I leave, so I'm not allowed to leave anymore.
That's right. You're addicted.
No, a little.
All right, next question.
Brandon Behrens. So you guys are selling the 5 pip gray mods and keeping the rest?
I still got gray mods. I mean, just because
I'm selling them.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll look at them because I think you could look at them, before you slice them. Then I'll just sell them. It's not a big deal. But I mean, these are just mods. I have mods pretty much on my characters. That I leveled to 50 and above. There's a few that I haven't still, but I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother. it's a waste of time. But for the most part, yeah, I'm maxed out on mods, so we'll see what happens. I've got a ton of mods and just sitting there, and they're good enough to play with, so I'm good. I'm not gonna sell my gray ones yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sell it until we find out how much it's gonna cost to slice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Then you value the slicing price to selling the mods and see how much it's going to be to get these new new sliced mods, as opposed to if it's going to be better to keep a credit income going with selling gray mods and green mods again. But me personally, I've been saving my greens and up. I've been selling grays unless they're like crit damage or crit chance triangles, and then of course your speed arrows, and then anything else is just kind of for some extra credits, really.
Chewy question: what is the Slicer special challenge showing up in mod challenges?
What?
The what?
I don't know. What is the Slicer special challenge showing up in mod challenges?
Maybe it's a reference to when's the new splicing mechanic coming into the game. In a sense,
I'm confused about the question. Just I don't know if you can.
I'm looking at mod
reword it.
challenges. I don't know what he's talking about. There's no.
Yeah, I think we're just confused by the question, Chewy. If you can re-ask it, we'll bring it back up. But I'm not sure what exactly you're asking.
It's potentially maybe the when the feature itself of splicing is coming. I don't.
He's saying if you go into. He's saying if you go in game and you click the info for the mod challenges. Hold on.
Okay. Maybe he's talking about the new.
Oh, it's in the description. Okay, I
Where?
see what you're saying.
What is it?
So it just says battle
Where?
in the slide. So if you go to your mod challenges, right, and you click the little eye that gives you the info for it, it tells you like the little text. It says battle in the Slicer special challenge against both or
That's
whatever.
the name of, I guess that's the Slicer dude in the back.
That's the dude.
Yeah.
That's the new dude that's showing up there. He's the Slicer, and then that's probably going to be what we're going to be slicing later on. So that's why it's called slicing. That's Slicer, and then we're slicing.
Okay. So
All right.
I had never pressed that I. Yeah, that's.
Stand alone.
It's been so long since I've done anything besides go to mod challenges, enter, and then sim whatever currency I had for the mods.
That's right. That's how babies are made, Finn. All right, next question.
Nathaniel Miller question: anyone tried the new KOTOR Jedi in any raids?
Not yet. I don't think we've got anybody to that max level yet to try them. I do foresee that Bastila and the Sith Raid is going to be really damn good with everything she does, along with... Because I was messing around, just testing on GW yesterday. Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum with Bastila combination is ridiculous. I was doing GTR, BB-8, General Kenobi, Bastila, and Ahsoka just to dick around with it. And my good God in heaven. Ooh. There's a lot of bumps. And Ahsoka hits like a damn truck. Oh God. It's pretty nice. So it's a really nice combination. So as we get a little bit more familiar with the characters and tunes and combinations, we'll let you guys know, of course. But that's one of the reasons I looked at Bastila like might be worth the investment. I'm not sold on Jolie, I'm sorry. But Bastila, yeah.
So I'm the opposite.
Well,
I think for raids, I'm sold on Jolie because he's basically like a Jedi Daka. I see Bastila as more worth in like territory wars and arena more than
I
raids.
see that there too, but I just like, and overall for different parts of the game, I like Bastila a lot. I think she's going to be.
I
really
do.
Good.
I like Bastila. I think more than Jolie because I don't have to 7-star Bastila in order to use her.
No, I mean, she could be really viable at just a 4 stars for Christ's sake. So
I think she's viable at 3. I was looking at the stats. Like she doesn't lose that much health between 3-star and 7-star. So.
No, but I think she's damn good. She's really damn good. Jolie, I'm on the fence about it. Still, I think he's a great character, but I think he's a nice addition. But I don't think he's worth the money investment. I mean,
no, I don't think so either. Not yet, anyways.
Not yet until we get more information about the other characters. Because that's what I keep telling everybody. Like the synergy I foresee, it'll be for Jedi and stuff. But I also foresee that the combination of Jedi will be for Jolie and Bastila in the team that's coming out with those other 3 characters, right? There's going to be some kind of synergy that they have. But we'll have to wait and see. So I'd say just wait a little bit till we get the other characters before you make huge investments in anything. Okay. Next question.
Doya Sun. Question for Finity. Sophie's choice. Who do you save? Voltron, Ranger, or Big Deal?
This is kind of easy. I think even Ranger would agree. You save the Big Deal because the Big Deal can get somebody else to save Voltron.
No, I think you save Voltron because you can't kill the Big Deal. Why even bother even trying to save the Big Deal?
Actually, that's true. That's true. The Big Deal just can't die.
Yeah.
You can go either way. I think either way, both of them end up saved.
Yeah. I don't think
I think this is a trick question. None of them are going to die. The Big Deal can get somebody to save Voltron, and then Big Deal can't die, so you can save Voltron yourself. Yeah. There we go.
Ski Trooper. Question: better BM, Yoda's or Bastila? Bastila's is legendary, but Yoda's must be something given that crazy stew he eats. Yeah, I understand what the BM means.
Yeah, I understand too. Yeah, I know it's battle meditation.
Yeah, I don't think it was bowel movement.
God. I mean, yeah, so one is a unique, one is a special. I like Yoda's better than Bastila's right now.
Contingent.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Contingent 33. Question: how many Zetas are needed for the Trooper team? 1.
Yeah,
You
what?
just need it on Veers.
Yeah. The other ones are nice, but they're not required or needed. But yeah, Veers you have to have. I mean, that's what gets that all rocking and rolling.
Nathaniel Miller. Question: why have you left a guild? I actually never have. I started my guild on day 1 when guilds came out, and I have not left.
So,
Treya.
well, yeah. I mean, I left RSG because I was with them forever, but I had an opportunity to go to TI, and I did. Then it fell apart. Grande tried to get me to go with them. I said, no. I just got into TI. It took me a year and a half, so kiss my ass, Grande. But I was with TI for a while, and then TI... I left TI and I went to MC. So I've only done like 2 guild moves. One to TI, then one to MC. So not that many, but mainly, you know, it's just the way it works out sometimes. Sometimes you want different things. Sometimes the guild changes. You know, there's lots of reasons people leave. So, I mean, Grande's had like, what, 20 guild moves because it's such a big deal that... I mean, and I know like Loki does a lot of guild hopping as well, but that's mainly because Loki's always looking for like that next. If Loki doesn't feel challenged, he's gonna go look for somewhere he can be challenged. You know, I mean, Loki is that kind of cat. So, but yeah, there's always all kinds of reasons why people can move guilds.
Yep. I left the game, but I haven't left any guild. I've been only in the RSG guild. Right. We've changed the names a couple of times, sure, but we haven't. I've been in the same guild. Otherwise, I've either been out of the game or, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Minus murking and stuff. I'm not including that.
Right. That doesn't count.
David Bond, question: what is the biggest mistake you have made in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes so far?
Listening to Finn tell me to work on Ugnaught.
Actually, that was going to be mine.
You telling me to work on Ugnaught?
Well, no. So I don't regret that, but I regret.
You don't regret making
me. No. So I regret the way that it came about. So for those of you that don't know, Heroic AAT was announced a while ago, right? And we were privy to some of the information about it, and we were theory crafting on characters that may or may not work. And so I had gone through and found all the like anti-droid characters. And 2 of them that really stood out to me were Ugnaught and I'm a Gundy. And so I was saying, and I had said this, you can go back and listen too, I'm sure I said this, which is I would work to star Ugnaught and I would work to star I'm a Gundy, but I wouldn't work to gear them until it got closer to the raid to see whether or not it worked. But I didn't want to fall behind on the 7-star because that always takes the most time to get done. So I had recommended you work on Ugnaught and you work on I'm a Gundy on their stars. I took mine to, I think, gear 8 and just kind of left him there because that gave me enough to pivot to gear 10 and gear 11, which was the max at the time. And that would have been enough for me. I think some people went a little bit overboard and started going to like gear 10, gear 11 with their Ugnaughts. And for a little while, there was a little use. You could use him in phase 3 under a old Ben lead. And Ugnaught was actually pretty nasty in that. But it wasn't like a super team. There are much better teams that showed up afterwards, like the Chirpa team. So my regret in the Galaxy of Heroes is the theory crafting of Ugnaught and some people actually focusing way too much on Ugnaught. Like I said, just get the stars up because I'm pretty consistent on this. Usually free to play, my advice is always get the stars up because it allows you to pivot when you need to for character and gears. But I know some people went above and beyond that, so I would say that's my regret.
And I remember it differently.
Ranger blames Finn.
Pretty much. You're a dirty, dirty, rotten bastard.
Hey, I didn't do anything that... I didn't tell you to do anything I didn't do myself.
No, that's not true, Finn. We went at it. I remember going at it on the stream. Like, don't work on Ugnaught. No, you need to work on Ugnaught.
No, but I'm saying I didn't tell you to do anything that I didn't do myself. So my Ugnaught is 7-star gear 8, and he hasn't been touched.
And I said it wasn't even worth getting to 6 stars.
I know you said it wasn't even worth it. I said you should get him to 7-star. I know. I'm not denying that, but I'm saying even though I recommended it to you, it's not like I didn't do it after I told you to do it. I did work on my health.
I love
So my little piggy is there. He's gear 8, one piece away from from gear 9, and hell, if I'm giving him a droid collar, he's not getting that droid collar. That Ugnaught is not getting a droid collar.
All right, next question.
Okay, Chewy. Question: do you think they'll give us a new energy for mods finally?
Nope. I have a sneaky
unfortunately,
suspicion.
I don't think so.
It's still gonna be
I would love it though.
We're gonna need all this slicing material and crap. They're gonna leave it at Cantina, and we're gonna be like, ah. All right, next question.
Doya Sun. Question: if the slicer is slicing, what slice would you prefer? Pie, pizza, watermelon, cake, other? What's the best slice?
Pizza.
I could go for some cake.
Pizza, by far.
So I'm not a fan of ice cream cake, so it has to be like the yellow cake. I love the yellow cake or funfetti.
You're gonna just skip right over the goddamn pizza, right?
So I do like a slice of pizza, but the problem is pizza can go wrong. Like if I'm generically picking a slice of pizza, right? If I can pick my pace,
New York, yeah, but you didn't say you couldn't do that, Finn. You just assumed you couldn't.
Well, that's why I'm going just generic, right? Because it's really hard to mess up cake. I found.
Oh, there's some people that can mess up some cakes.
No,
Trust me, I've had some shitty cakes.
Oh, I know. I have too when it gets dry and stuff. But in general, it's harder. In my opinion, it's harder to mess up cake. It's harder to mess up pie than it is to mess up a pizza. So. Only because of that reason am I skipping over pizza. I think if it's a yellow cake, it may be close, but I think I would always go for a good slice of cherry pie. I think a cherry pie is...
I love me some French silk chocolate pie and German chocolate cake.
There is another pie. There is another pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Have you had the Hershey's cream pie?
Yes, I have. It's delicious.
That
full
thing
of
is
vitamins
awesome.
and minerals.
Yes, all the goodness that you need. The Hershey's
Right.
cream pie. So you can get it from Burger King. Burger King sells a pie, or you can get it from like the frozen section. But oh my god, the Hershey cream pie. That I'll go with that. Yeah. Damn it, I want a Hershey cream pie. Thanks, Ohug.
Okay. Nathaniel Miller, question: if running the Rolo team in Sith Triumvirate Raid Phase 3, who should the rest of the team be?
Attackers.
Mm-hmm.
So the strategy with the Rolo team is a little bit different than what you would run with Chex Mix. Chex Mix can go from the beginning, right? You bring them in, you have the little sequence in order to do the damage. Rolo is all about the topple. So what you need to do with Rolo is first you want to bring in maybe a leading team if your rest of your characters aren't super high. What you can do is bring in a team in order to kill 2 of the lightsabers. They just come in there, they kill 2 of the lightsabers, they may bring down the 3rd one, then you just attack on Traya and get that team killed. So you can just go ahead and get that done. Then the next team you bring in is with Rolo. Now, the team that you're bringing in is a team that's all attackers. So you're looking at an attacker-heavy team. The goal is to kill the last lightsaber, then have Rolo go, do her standalone, and then do her special, which will do an 11 hit on Traya alone, since Traya is the only one there when you topple. So the team that you're looking for, the lead-in team can be whatever. You just need to kill the 2 lightsabers, so it doesn't really matter. The Rolo team depends on what you're using in Phase 2, but want to try with a leader that provides you with extra damage. So a character like a Boba Fett works really well as your lead in there, because he is an attacker, and then he increases your crit damage and all that kind of stuff. So a Boba Fett lead would be good. Then Rolo, and then 3 other attackers. And more important than anything else on those characters is how much you mod them with plus offense and plus % offense. The goal is to get their physical damage stat as much as possible, as high as possible, because then when you go into standalone, it's going to take all of that physical damage stat and move it over to Rolo, and so Rolo gets essentially gets close to plus 400% offense as a result, and so basically that's the team you're looking for. So a Boba Fett lead or some kind of offensive lead is what you're looking for. All attackers. Boba Fett seems to fit the best, then Rolo, and then 3 other attackers.
All right.
Real quick, too, I did it a couple of times, and I'm still kind of playing around with it. I haven't really gotten the opportunity to gear Rolo like I want to. She's gear 8. The most I've gotten her to hit is like 189k, just off the standalone. But potentially, what I do is, like Vin said, the Boba Fett lead is, obviously the most for like any crit damage lead or anything like that. But potentially you want to, use Boba Fett somewhere else, like, one of those teams in Phase 2 for like the Bounty Hunters, or for even like the Hermit Yoda Wampa team. We've been seeing some comps with Boba Fett in there too as well. But I like to use Lando too, so that way it's not like consuming, and she still gets the bonus from the crit damage and the speed, so she's gonna go right away. And like I have a video too for it on my YouTube channel. You can check it out, and I'm also working to try and get the damage output a little bit higher in the future too, just for raid points, obviously. So
yeah, good point. Lando's a really good one too, since Leia's a rebel too. That increases her speed. Yeah, and
it's not gonna take Boba Fett away from another team comp, because potentially, like Mike said, he did what was it, like 1.2 million with the Bounty Hunters with Boba lead too, so that's pretty interesting in Phase 2. Bounty Hunters obviously can give you some good damage, but Lando's a good easy substitute, and a lot of people have Lando from back in the day. So
which also reminds me, one of the attackers that you probably want on the team, if you're not using him with your Chex Mix, is Jedi Knight Anakin in order to get the offense up. If you're using POW with Chex Mix, use Jedi Knight Anakin with your Rolo team, not the cleanup team, to take out the 2 sabers. That way you get the offense up and increase the standalone.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Danilo Papayas. Question, Hermit Yoda can never use standalone, right?
Why?
He can, just nothing happens.
Yeah, he just sits and goes, "Oh, hit me, you will not."
He won't hit them either.
Yeah. My ally is the Force. We'll hit something. No.
Han P, can someone explain Phase 3 Sith Raid? What are the mechanics for... Okay. What are the mechanics for standalone, and when you use it, if it's not a Chex Mix team or one of the suggested teams that does best in that phase?
Yeah, we just went into all that.
Yeah. So hopefully you got enough detail from that. What I'll also do is I will post in the chat right now. So this is the Chex Mix breakdown on Reddit. I know you were saying non-Chex Mix, but essentially you can look at the guide for the Chex Mix team and understand why speeds are a certain way, what the mechanics are, why you're using attackers, why you're not. If you go through the post there from Reddit that breaks down the Chex Mix, I think that'll also help you understand. It pretty much is what I had said also, but if you just want to see it written down and see some more details for Chex Mix, that should help.
Okay, Grim question, how about now?
How about now?
Soon TM. Son, question, do you think we will get a fleet raid using fleet energies spend for the fleet raid tickets? If so, would it be assault on Death Star 1 or 2 or Star Killer base?
Not anytime soon. We don't have nearly enough ships to do anything ship raid-wise. Now, it's possible that a new raid has a phase that is ships. So that may be possible. but I don't think we're looking at a ship raid, like a full ship-only raid. I don't see that happening anytime soon. We just don't have quantity of ships or capital ships in order to really validate that as a possibility. So, but that would be cool. Something on the Death Star with maybe a few other like character battles happening along the way, like a Vader or something like that, and then ultimately there is a Death Star. Something like that. That would be pretty cool.
Chrome Cobra question: Finn wants a cream pie.
Yeah.
A Hershey cream pie.
Yeah.
Okay. Ski Trooper question: My original question was about the other kind of BM. Same answer, Finity.
Yeah, Yodas will probably be smaller, so less of a problem to deal with. Hey, he asked the question, not me.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the questions.
Oh, look, and it's 1 o'clock. Perfect.
Hey, time to end the stream. Perfect timing. It's like we knew what was going to happen. All right, y'all. If you're watching this, then thank you for stopping by for the lunch stream. We really appreciate everybody's support. Make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And if you like our content, you should be subscribed anyway, so you get notifications of when we're doing streams. We have the Jedi Academy coming tomorrow at 10 a.m., where we bring the best and the brightest YouTubers and game changers together, and then sprinkle in a little mental damage of RSG to get you the Jedi Academy, which is a straight Q&A show where you guys can ask the best and the brightest what they think of any of your Star Wars Galaxy Hero related questions and subjects, and then we messed it all up by giving our own thoughts. And then tomorrow night will be the RSG Mature Saturday night stream, where we just kind of hang out, drink, be merry, and have fun. We also then have Sunday. We're going to have our D&D campaign continuing. And then next week we just start all over again Monday. We start doing all the lunch streams from 12 to 1, which we do every week, Monday through Friday. We do a lot of roster reviews. We're catching up on all the roster reviews. Again, a lot of requests again for those. And then every Wednesday, we have the longest running live stream for this game, our Galaxy Heroes stream, where we break down all the latest and greatest and news and notes for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes and tell you a little bit of what it all means. So there's that. We've got, if you're listening to this afterwards, you can download this on iTunes or YouTube, listen to us on YouTube Red. There's a lot of different ways you can download us, listen to it as a podcast. Finn's getting caught up on that. We have the store where you can buy RSG merchandising. We have the Patreon, guys. Remember, if you'd like to support us, please go to the Patreon and you can support us in that manner. So, did I miss anything, Dr. Finn?
And keep an eye out. So I made the meta video with the Han to counter the meta with the trail lead.
Sure.
And a lot of you guys had questions about what if there's a Palpatine lead with a Vader and the Triumvirate. I am working on that video right now. So hopefully really soon. I'm trying to do it by tonight, but it's going to be a little bit difficult. So hopefully tomorrow that video will be out there. I have a new team that I put together. It should be one that you guys, if you haven't worked on it, should be working towards anyways. There are characters that are fairly useful, one of which I will have to say is a little bit of a newer character, but is valid even at 3-star. Hopefully you guys work on it, which is Enfys Nest. But I'll have that video soon for you guys too, because you guys asked for it. I'm working on that video.
Yep. There you go. Science. We bring the people what they want, Finn. All right. So everyone have a great rest of your day, and make sure you join our Discord. We can answer a lot of questions for you guys. Really appreciate everybody, and y'all have a great rest of your day. Thanks.